Hey guys, Josh here. So today I wanted to do a video completely different from what I have been doing before. Um, hey guys, Josh here. So today I wanted to go ahead and do a video some slightly different than what I've did. Hey guys, Josh here. So today I wanted to go ahead and make a video that's a little different than what I've been doing before, and I wanted to restrain from talking about the church that I normally do and answering questions in regards to that. What I wanted to focus on today was actually going into depth about my anxiety a little bit more. I know that I've talked about it in my previous videos, and I've only mentioned it, but I've never really explained in detail, the feelings that my body goes through and the change and the transition that I go from being, happy one second to, panicky the next second to wanting to throw up the other second. So I really wanted to go ahead and really touch base on that, because there's a lot of people out there who are really suffering from anxiety disorder just like me, and sometimes they might feel alone and they feel that nobody's going to be able to understand them, just like I did. For such a long time I felt that nobody was going to be able to help me, and I felt alone, and no matter how much and how hard I tried to explain the feelings that I was going through to anybody, I just felt that nobody was going to understand me. So that's one of the main reasons that I wanted to go ahead and make a video specifically regarding the anxiety issue, just so that people are more aware of what people go through when this transition in the body is happening. Now, I am in my backyard today, so I do apologize for any background noises that are going on. You might be able to hear the gardener from like two houses down, but again, I do apologize about that. So just bear with me, and hopefully he's done soon. But again, I wanted to go ahead and really focus on that topic today. So if you can, try to find a quiet spot, somewhere in your room or in your house or wherever you can in your backyard. Just try to find a quiet spot. And reason for that being is because I want you to envision yourself having a good time with your friends, having a good time with your family, having a good time with your partner, having a good time with anybody that you want to imagine having a good time with. Now just imagine eating, laughing, sharing jokes, and overall just having a good time with that person or group. And I want you to envision that as clearly as you can in your mind, and I want you to envision that happiness and laughter that you potentially have or have had in the past with somebody. I want you just to envision it to the best of your ability. And once you do that, don't let that feeling go, because it's really important so that you can be able to understand the next step of the faith. So the next step is, now that you are able to imagine that feeling, I want you to imagine receiving a phone call or somebody coming up to you and all of a sudden giving you the worst news that you can ever possibly imagine. Just imagine, either, it might be something like you didn't get the job that you really, really wanted, the job of your dreams. Somebody in your family passed away, your pet might have passed away, hit by a car. Just one of the most terrible things that you can possibly think of. So now, go back to that happy feeling and try to go from happy to all of a sudden getting this terrible news. Now what happens when you receive the terrible news is, for most people, your stomach starts to sink down and turns upside down, which causes nausea. So that's what happens to me, is I go from being in this happy place, in this happy environment where nothing is going wrong, to all of a sudden something terrible just happened and my stomach sinks down and I start to feel nauseous. Now the thing with me is that nausea is one of my biggest triggers. So as soon as I start feeling nauseous, even the slightest nauseous, my heart will begin to race. Just like if I was starting to run a marathon, it'll start to race slowly and faster, or slowly, then faster and faster and faster, and sometimes I can even hear my own heart beating. Once that happens, my hands start to get all clammy, very sweaty, and I start to get all jittery and paranoid. So once I feel that I've gotten it, to that state where my heart starts to begin to race, my palms start to get jittery and clammy, I start to feel like this, sort of stuck feeling in your throat. It's kind of like when you drink water and it goes down the wrong way, and you start to feel like you're choking. That's the exact same feeling that I get. And as soon as I start to get that feeling, I start to feel suffocated and enclosed and hot, and I don't feel. I don't know what to do. So those are the feelings that I get from back to back to back to back. So now again, imagine you're having a good time, you're laughing, eating, sharing drinks with your friend. Nothing's happening, but then out of the blue, bam, just like that, your stomach and your whole body just changes from this happy feeling to this terrible, feeling that you just got. But that nothing's happening, and everything is fine. However, your body's switching from your safe environment to your fight or flight mode, and it's something that you can't avoid. That nothing's happening, and that everything's okay, but at the same time your body's telling you, hey, something just terrible happened, time to put your guard up, time to defend yourself or start running. And talking from personal experience, feeling this anxiety that builds up in me, it's not easy to cope with, especially if you don't know that you have it. Most people, when you're first going through it, you feel that you're just sick and something's wrong with you, because when I went through it the first time, I didn't know what was wrong. I just felt terrible. I just thought I was catching the flu. I had, I thought I was sick or something. I thought I had a cold. And for such a long time, I just, avoided it, or not avoided it, but, tried to control it to the best of my ability. And I couldn't. It was just a terrible time in my time. Until eventually I went to the doctor, and I figured out that I had an anxiety disorder, and certain situations and environments triggered it. Sometimes it's easier to cope with, and other times it's a lot more difficult to deal with than what people think. Now, the reason that I'm sharing this again is because I know there's people out there who don't really understand people like myself and what they're going through. Sometimes we're judged and say, you're over exaggerating, you're oh, he's just pretending, or he just doesn't want to hang out with us, or something's wrong with him, he's just being weird. And I just want you guys to know that if anybody ever tells you that they have anxiety issues, I need you to try to understand them. Now, there's a difference between understanding and knowing what the person is going through. Understanding, to me at least, it's acknowledging that the person has something wrong with them. But knowing, actually, I'm sorry, the other way around. Knowing is, you just know, and what the other person is, going through. But understanding, it's really knowing how the person is feeling through this transition, when the body is just changing from this happy place to this let's get ready to fight transition. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. It's not easy, again, for people like myself to be able to control it. And it's not that we don't want to control it, or that we even want to feel it. We most definitely don't. But sometimes it's out of our hands, and we'll just try to cope with it the best that we can. So again, if somebody's telling you that they have a problem or an issue with anxiety, give them their space, especially if they're having one of their episodes. The more you hover over them, the more you ask them questions, the more suffocated we feel, the more enclosed, uh, not knowing what to do we feel. So it's really important for you guys to just really back off and just give them their space until they do what they gotta do. Everybody's different. The feelings that I go through when I have my anxiety is completely different than what another person is that might feel. But the best thing that you can do is just give them their space. Just back up and be like, okay, he's going or she's going through one of their episodes. Let's just back off, and they'll come back when they're ready. And that's all you really need to do, because when it comes to anxiety, it's just a panic attack that we've learned to control in our own way. And unless we do it our own way, things just don't seem to get better in the immediate situation. So the best thing, once again, that you can do for that individual is just really back off for a few minutes and just let them be, unless they're asking for you to be there. Just really give them that space. So that's really much what I really wanted to touch base on in this video, because again, I've explained it before or touched base on it on my previous videos, but I never really went into detail on my situation, at least. And going through it just recently, it came to the point where I would go to sleep feeling anxious, I would wake up feeling anxious. Everything that I did every second of the day was just anxiousness. And everyone in their lifetime has felt anxious at one point or another. And if you remember that feeling when you're anxious, for example, when you're waiting to be called for an interview, just remember that anxious feeling that you get. And just sitting there and waiting for your name to be called, it's just and sometimes it might be an empowering feeling. So just picture feeling that feeling every second of the day, going to sleep anxious, waking up anxious, doing everything that you can in your power to really not focus on it. However, it's still lingering there in your body and you feel it, but you just pretend and try your hardest to make it believe that it's not there. That's what I went through for a couple months, and it was just constant nausea, constant lightheadedness, constant jitteriness, constant clammy hands, constant suffocation, constant everything that you can possibly imagine. That's what I went through for a couple of months. I even lost so much weight at one point. I gained it all back, thankfully, but I had lost 25 pounds in less than a month because I was unable to eat anything. Everything I smelled made me feel nauseous. Anything that I put in my mouth made me feel like I was going to vomit it out. Anything that I tried to do just didn't seem to work until I really distracted myself and gave myself specific tasks for the day, so that I can just concentrate on that and ease the anxiety to the best of my ability. And again, it's just something terrible that people, certain people have. And again, it's not that we choose to have it, and it's not that we want to have it, but it's just something that occurs. And just overall, I need you guys to understand that when somebody is going through this specific episode, once again, just give them their space. Unless they're specifically asking for you by name, then really all you can do is just back off, don't judge them, and just be understanding. Don't just be a knower, but completely do understand and put yourself in their shoes and think of what they're going through. Maybe they've explained to you the feelings that they're going through, but you've never really taken the time to really put yourself in their shoes when they're going through the episode. And that's what people need to do, is really put yourself in their shoes and try to really understand that individual's anxiety before you judge them, before you say that they're weird, and before you say anything just in general to that individual or to somebody else behind their back. Really put yourself in their shoes and think twice before you even say anything. I hope this video was helpful to many of you out there, and if you guys have any questions based on this specific topic, just go ahead and comment below, and then I'll do my best to go and respond to you guys as much as I can. And again, I'll just end this video with really giving those individuals their space and letting them be until they are back to their normal state. Alright guys, thank you, and I'll talk to you guys next time.